That's fine. All right, everyone. So painting demo numero uno. See, who asked me if I knew Spanish? There you go. Boom. Just kidding. Sorry. All right. So things you're going to need when you're painting are, number one, you're going to need a palette. All right. We got these nifty guys. They're stored over by the sink. I got a little dish, like a plate strainer, whatever you have like on the side of the kitchen sink that like strains dishes. Anyway, that's where those lives. We got brushes. You're also going to need a little bit of water. I'll get you guys some solo cups so we don't have to use actual cups. Y'all good? It's okay. No. That's not something that sounds like a phone. All right. So when you're painting, a couple of things to remember. Number one, we're not in here for too terribly long, even though it may seem that way. We're only in here for 50 minutes, probably 40 of that is actual work time, 30 if you count 10 minutes of cleanup, right? So we're only painting for 30 minutes. And we're not painting a very large area. So when we go to get paint, I keep it in kind of a small container. We got ketchup, we got mustard. One is for hot dogs, one is for fries, and not the other way around. Just kidding.
So we're gonna eat?
Yes. Yeah. See you later. Or not. We are not going to eat hot dogs. Sorry. At least in class right now. Yeah. No worries. Take your time. So when you're getting paint, you want to take a little bit of paint at a time. Also, you can always go back and get paint. You can't put paint back into the squeeze bottle. So when you're trying to get paint, you should start with about a dime's worth. All right. Very small amount. All right. Also, that's fine. Also, just make sure that you have a partner when you're going to get your paint. So this class is not as big as my other class, but it is still important. Make sure that you have a painting buddy and make sure that you share painting responsibilities with each other. But usually it takes two people to go through all the paint in a period. So this is about as much paint as you should get in any given period. You can have a maximum of 3 colors. I'd recommend only taking 2. It goes a long way. As we get further and further into the color wheel, taking 3 colors is fine. If we get to the very end of the color wheel, taking 4 colors is okay, but try to limit the number of colors that you're using just to save paint. So, yeah, that's getting paint. We'll go over cleanup later. When you're painting, it's good. All right. When you're painting, try to be like aware of what colors you're going to be using. So I'm going to start you guys out with only red and yellow. So go ahead with your finger, find the red slice on your color wheel. On your color wheel. Go ahead and point to it. Then find the yellow slice on your color wheel. Go ahead and point to it. So we're going to start within that range. So red, orange, orange, yellow, and yellow. That's going to be kind of where we start. Then we'll add in blue, right? And then we'll add in black and white as we continue. All right. As far as painting is concerned, you've probably done it before, but if you haven't, I'd recommend getting a smaller brush, something that looks like this or like this. Either one is fine. But when you paint, I don't really know the best way to say this, but don't overload your brush with paint. Also, paint in the same direction that your handle is pointing. So I'm going to paint right over here. But notice that my handle is pointing. The handle of my brush is pointing away, and that's the way that I'm going to drag my paintbrush. So I'm going to carefully and evenly try to apply that paint. Try not to push. I don't know, I see a lot of people do this. Like try to push the paint away. Don't do that. Right, try to be as even as you can. All right. Also, and this came up in my third period, you will be painting over what you have labeled. It may take a few coats, but eventually you want to kind of get an even, nice coat. You guys good?
Huh?
It's just a lot of head touching. I'm just making sure you guys are okay. Okay. So you may have to let your colors dry. You may have to repaint another coat. But there you go. That's basically what that is. So you can start with red and yellow. Obviously, you don't need to mix those colors. But when you're ready to change colors, make sure boom, that you clean off your brush. And for an added layer of cleaning security, you can wipe it off with a paper towel. Ta-da. When you go to mix colors, so for example, orange is probably going to be the first one that y'all make. This is the proper way to do it. So with yellow and red, I always start with yellow. I'm going to grab some yellow and move it over. Maybe like 3 scoops. Try to get it all off your brush. Rinse. And then go back and get your second color. With red, I know from experience that a little bit of red goes a very long way. So I have only a very, very small touch of red mixed with a bunch of yellow, and that should give us a reasonable orange. If it doesn't, you can always add more red. All right, that looks like a yellow-orange, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more red just so we can get it more to the color that we want, or we can just use that for yellow-orange. Boom. A little more red, mix it up, see where we're at. Feel free to test out your colors. See, I have some orange tested over here. Feel free to check that against what you have. That orange looks good to me. It looks like it's halfway between yellow and red, so I'm going to keep it there. And yeah, then you just start applying. So you can just go ahead and start adding in that orange color. Any questions on that so far? Seems easy. Really, the number one thing I want to bring up is when you're mixing colors, make sure to rinse your brush in between dips, right? So you keep like a perfect red and a perfect yellow, and you mix everything else on the side. As far as cleaning is concerned, make sure you rinse everything out in the sink. That includes your brush, your cup, as well as your palette, right? So make sure that these are all rinsed off, and then you can leave them to dry in the dish strainer over there. Yeah. As we go through, we're going to start with yellow through red. I'll do another demo when we get to the black and the white, when you start adding in your tints and your shades. But for now, we're just starting with hues, and we'll leave those tints and shades until later. Does anyone have any questions? Cool.